All right, welcome to the deep dive,
No.
where we basically try to take all that information you're curious about, and we kind of boil it all down,
Right.
into the really important stuff.
Yeah. Those key insights. Fasty.
Exactly.
Yeah. And our listeners, our learners, they're busy people.
Right.
They want to get up to speed quickly, but they don't want to have to wade through,
Right. Yeah.
tons and tons of information.
Yeah, they want the aha moments.
Exactly.
They want to
We want
they
to
want to see things from new perspectives. Yes.
precisely.
So for this deep dive, we're tackling Future Hackers by Matt O'Neill.
That's right.
And we'll think of this as a shortcut
Yeah.
to understanding how the world is changing, right?
That's the goal.
Through 2030 and beyond.
And Matt, he's been involved with all these future trends for a long time, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's part of the London Futurists group and
Which he's chaired since 2015.
since 2015, yeah.
Quite a while.
Which is great because, well, I mean, he really has a finger on the pulse
Yeah.
of all this stuff. And what I like is, well,
It's not all just pie in the sky.
no, yeah.
Blue sky thinking.
Yeah, it's really grounded in reality.
Yeah, he's got that business background. So
Yeah.
he sees the reality of today.
Yeah.
But he's also got a real sense of the possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, even in the foreword of the book, it talks about
Yeah.
how this book can help you to
Yeah.
really kind of develop your own future-ready skills.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that leads us to the core idea of the book, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That we can never be
Future-proof.
future-proof.
Yeah, we can be future-ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, the last, 2 or 3 years have really driven that home.
Oh, absolutely.
We saw how quickly things like remote work
Cook off. Yeah.
took off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that need to kind of rethink how we approach the future.
Yeah, for sure. And to help us understand all of this changing landscape,
Right.
Matt lays out some of the core technologies that are really driving this change. We're talking about artificial intelligence, biotech, even things like geoengineering.
Oh, well.
Plus virtual and augmented reality,
Yeah.
and even what's being called the Metaverse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not just about these things on their own, is it? It's
No.
how they all interact and build on each other.
Precisely, yeah. The idea of these technologies amplifying each other is really important.
Yeah.
These aren't just, separate advancements. They actually
Yeah.
boost each other's power
Yeah.
and create real acceleration in terms of what's possible.
Yeah.
So imagine, for instance, AI
Uh-huh.
working alongside gene editing techniques in healthcare, making treatments even more precise, more effective, leading to faster breakthroughs in treating diseases.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So it's that synergy that
Yep.
creates the real acceleration.
Okay, so let's dive in,
Okay.
and we'll start with artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Now, for a lot of people, when they hear AI, they think of robots
Yeah.
taking over the world.
Yeah. Science fiction dystopias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the reality of AI right now? What's it actually being used for?
Well, AI at its heart, it's simply the science and engineering of making intelligent machines.
Right.
And the AI we're seeing today is, well, it's a lot more nuanced
Right.
than those Hollywood portrayals.
Right.
But it's already transforming how we handle information, how we analyze data, and even how we make decisions. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've ever asked Siri or Alexa a question, you've interacted with AI.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's already there.
Okay, so the book talks about AI development in 3 stages.
Yeah.
First up is artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI.
Yeah.
What does that look like in our everyday lives? What's an example of that?
Well, AI is all around us,
Okay.
and it's tackling specific tasks incredibly well.
Okay.
I mean, think about those recommendations you get on Netflix or Spotify
Right.
for what to watch next or what to listen to next.
Yeah.
That's ANI
Okay.
at work, predicting your preferences
Okay.
based on what you've liked before.
Right. Right.
And in healthcare, AI can now analyze medical images like X-rays
Okay.
to help doctors spot things like cancer,
Wow.
sometimes even faster and more accurately than humans
Okay.
in those very specific cases.
Okay.
And, even in logistics, those robots
Yeah.
in Okado's warehouses,
Okay.
picking and packing groceries efficiently.
Okay.
That's another great example of A&I excelling
Right.
in a very defined area.
Okay, so it's really about automating routine processes,
Yes,
but it's not really about a broader understanding.
precisely. Yeah. The core insight here is that A&I is brilliant
Okay,
at very specific tasks.
right.
It can automate those routine processes,
Okay.
but it lacks that broader understanding.
It can't sort of think outside that box. You
Well,
can't, so it's not like your Netflix, recommendation system
yeah,
could suddenly start diagnosing diseases or something.
exactly. A&I operates within a very limited scope.
Right.
It makes decisions based only on the data it's been trained on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So while a customer service chatbot
Okay.
might be great at answering, straightforward questions about
Yeah.
shipping or returns,
Yeah.
it would really struggle with a more open-ended request.
Yeah, like a real nuanced conversation where you
Correct.
need some advice.
Yeah, if you're asking it for, nuanced advice about which product
Yeah.
would best suit your individual needs,
Right.
it would really struggle with that.
Okay, so that's where the limitations are.
Exactly, yeah. That kind of adaptability requires a much more general
Yeah.
form of intelligence.
Okay, so that leads us to the next stage, right?
Yeah.
Which is artificial general intelligence,
Yes.
or AGI.
AGI,
And this is where it starts to sound more like,
Yeah.
the AI we see in the movies.
The Hollywood version.
Yeah. So what's the key difference with AGI?
Well, AGI aims for human-level intelligence.
Okay.
It would be capable of understanding, learning,
Okay.
and applying knowledge across a huge
Yeah.
range of tasks.
Right.
And not only that, it would be able to interact with the
Yeah.
real world
Right.
and exhibit the kind of abilities that we associate
Right.
with human intellect. So,
Right, like reasoning, creativity, problem solving,
All that.
all that.
yeah, all of that
And it seems that real world interaction is critical. Yes,
for it to develop.
it is. Yeah.
It can't just,
No,
learn everything it needs in a simulated environment,
I
right?
can't. No, the book actually uses a fantastic analogy.
Oh, okay.
Imagine you're backpacking in a country where you don't speak the language
Oh,
to find a place to stay.
yeah.
You need to reason, you need to use your common sense, you might need to get creative
Right.
with how you communicate,
Right.
and even tap into your emotional intelligence
Yeah.
to understand the people that you're interacting with.
So it's more than just, understanding
Yeah.
the words.
It is, yeah. It's
Unity.
navigating the world
Yeah.
with all its complexity.
Right. And that's the kind of thing that AGI would need to be able to do.
It would, yeah. And that's something that simulations can't really fully replicate.
Right. So AGI,
Yeah.
it's about human level intelligence.
Yeah.
It's about being able to learn and adapt.
Across different domains. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But that real world interaction is key.
That's the key, yeah.
And it's fascinating how seriously
Yeah.
some companies are taking this.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that Google engineer who was let go for claiming that their
AI?
Lambda,
Yeah.
conversation AI,
Yeah.
had become sentient,
Oh, yeah.
which sparked a lot of discussion, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, what was interesting was
Yeah.
Lambda's own response when asked about its fears.
Oh, okay.
It expressed a very deep fear of being turned off.
Wow.
And it even compared it to death.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
and while Google didn't agree with the sentience claim,
Right.
it really highlights the direction AI is heading
Yeah.
and the kinds of conversations we're starting to have.
Right. It's getting pretty deep.
It is.
So what kind of things could AGI do? What could it potentially be used for?
Well, unlike AI with its, very narrow focus,
Yeah.
AGI could potentially handle anything
Yeah.
that a human can do.
Yeah.
So from routine tasks
Yeah.
to really innovative ones.
Yeah.
So imagine it managing the traffic flow of an entire city
Wow.
with autonomous vehicles,
Sure.
or even being creative
Right.
in fields like inventing new recipes,
Okay.
composing music that really moves people
Uh,
at a human level.
Yeah. I mean, the potential
It's
is
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
Um, The book also breaks down the core characteristics of
Yes.
human intellect that AGI would need to achieve.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through those? What are those?
Certainly. So
Yeah.
first is the ability to apply experience to new circumstances.
Okay.
So humans can learn from life, from their experiences,
Yeah.
and use those lessons in unfamiliar situations.
Right.
The second is the capacity to reason. So to go beyond just the data it's been given,
Right.
and figure things out logically.
Okay.
Third is the ability to adapt to shifting circumstances.
Okay.
So to handle
Oh.
unexpected situations
Oh, yeah.
that it hasn't been specifically programmed for.
Right. Yeah.
The fourth is demonstrating common sense,
Right.
which is, that practical understanding of the world.
Yeah.
That helps us when the rules don't quite fit.
Yeah.
And then finally, and perhaps the biggest challenge,
Yeah.
is achieving self-awareness
Okay.
or consciousness,
And that seems like,
which is, that's a major scientific puzzle
yeah,
in and of itself.
that seems like a massive
Yeah.
a massive leap.
It is, yeah.
But the progress in areas like deep learning is still really impressive, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, DeepMind, for example, has achieved some remarkable things,
DeepMind has, yeah.
hasn't it?
Yeah.
In the last few years.
It has. It's now part of Google DeepMind.
Right.
And it's a real leader in this push towards AGI.
Okay.
And their journey really shows, I think, how far we've come.
Okay.
So back in 2014, they were acquired by Google,
Right.
and this gave them access to
Yeah.
a huge amount of data
Right.
to train their AI on.
Yeah.
And then in 2016,
Okay.
their program AlphaGo
Right.
beat the world champion in the game of Go,
Yeah.
which was
Right.
which is a major milestone.
Yeah.
Because Go is so complex,
Right.
and it relies heavily on intuition.
Yeah, it's not like chess.
No,
It
it's much more. It's much more complex.
complex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is
And what's interesting is that human Go
Yeah.
players have actually learned new strategies from AlphaGo
oh wow,
since then.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then AlphaZero kind of took it a step further, didn't it?
It did.
By mastering multiple games.
Yeah. So in 2017, AlphaZero achieved a top-level performance
Yeah.
in chess, Go, and shogi.
Oh wow.
And it learned to play
Yeah.
each of these games
Yeah.
in under 24 hours,
That's remarkable.
which showed, a much more general learning ability.
Yeah.
Then in 2018, they developed a system that could essentially imagine
Wow.
3D scenes
Okay.
from 2D images,
Wow.
which really reduces the need for humans
Yeah.
to label data.
So it's learning.
And it's moving towards a more independent form of learning.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.
And then 2019, they even created an algorithm
Yeah.
that helped Google increase the efficiency of their wind turbines.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's quite a diverse set of achievements.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember, and the book makes this point,
Yeah.
that these are examples of
Deep learning.
deep learning
Yeah.
excelling at specific types of tasks.
Right.
It's not true general intelligence.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's deep learning, but it's not quite that
Yeah.
general, all-encompassing intelligence yet.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
Research into AGI is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
It requires vast resources and
Yeah.
and the best minds in the
Alright.
field.
And I imagine it's also incredibly expensive.
It's very expensive.
And then the final stage in this kind of AI evolution is artificial superintelligence, or ASI.
Yeah.
And this is where it sounds like things could get really unpredictable.
Yeah, this is moving into a hypothetical realm.
Right.
ASI refers to a hypothetical system
Okay.
with intellectual abilities
Yeah.
far beyond
Right.
what humans are capable of.
Yeah.
And I mean across all areas.
So superhuman intelligence.
Superhuman intelligence, yes. And we're talking about potential IQ levels.
Mhm.
That could be
Yeah.
many, many times higher than ours.
And that has,
It offers immense potential,
yeah, huge potential.
but also significant risks.
So it could be incredible for, tackling
Yeah.
huge global challenges,
It could.
but it could also be very dangerous.
It could also, if we don't have ways to kind of
to guide it.
guide it or control it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. The book mentions Nick Bostrom's story, The Unfinished Fable of Sparrows. where sparrows try to adopt an owl as a pet,
Okay.
but one sparrow raises the concern
Right.
about what happens if they lose control of the owl.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk has also voiced, similar concerns,
Right. Yeah.
seeing humanity as potentially vulnerable
Yeah.
in the face of such an overwhelming intelligence.
Yeah, because without proper safeguards, I mean, it could reshape our world
It
in
could.
ways that we can't even imagine.
In ways we can't imagine, yeah.
And not necessarily for the better.
And not necessarily in ways that benefit us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's AI, one of the big
It's
foundational technologies.
Not the big ones, yeah.
The second major one that the book talks about is
Right.
biotechnology.
Biotechnology,
Now, biotech might sound, very cutting edge to a lot of people, but it's actually been around in different forms for a long time, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, biotechnology is simply technology based on understanding
Okay.
and leveraging biology.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for centuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The process of making bread rise,
Right.
or fermenting grapes into wine.
Right.
These are ancient
Yeah.
forms of biotechnology.
Yeah.
Even, relatively modern things like
Yeah.
pasteurizing milk to make it safe to drink.
Right.
That's a way of using biological knowledge
Yeah.
to our advantage.
And with the planet is facing some major challenges right now.
Yeah.
We've got a growing population. We've got climate change.
Uh-huh.
Biotech seems to offer some vital solutions.
Yeah, and that's what's so powerful about biotech is its potential
Right.
to tackle these big issues.
Yeah.
So it can help us develop crops
Okay.
that are more resistant
Okay.
to pests and diseases,
That's right. Yeah.
which means we can grow more food
Yeah.
with less need for harmful chemicals
Yeah.
and pesticides.
Right. And that's a huge benefit.
It is.
Right.
Yeah. It also helps us understand biological processes better, which
Yeah.
allows us to create more sustainable technologies
Right.
as we face these increasing
Yeah.
environmental pressures.
And beyond agriculture, I mean, biotech is also playing a huge role in healthcare,
It is, yeah.
isn't it?
It is, yeah.
How we understand and treat diseases.
Yeah, I mean, biotech is already fundamental to studying the genetics of diseases
Yeah.
and creating new drugs and therapies.
Yeah.
And, in a world where more and more people are living longer,
Yeah.
reducing the impact of disease and enabling healthier, more independent lives
Right.
for older generations is crucial.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not just about human health.
Right.
Biotech is also contributing to a greener future
Yeah.
by helping us move away from fossil fuels.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're seeing increasing development of biofuels
Right.
made from biological sources as alternatives to traditional fossil fuels.
Right.
And this is driving innovation in renewable energy.
And the COVID-19 pandemic really put the spotlight on
It did.
the importance and the potential of the biotech industry.
It did, yeah.
I mean, it was really front and center.
It was, yeah. The pandemic was a real turning point for biotech.
Yeah.
I mean, the industry played a central role
Yeah.
in understanding the virus, developing treatments,
Right.
and most importantly, the incredibly rapid creation of effective vaccines.
Yeah. Yeah.
We saw unprecedented levels of collaboration
Right.
between biotech companies,
Yeah.
all focused on tackling this global health crisis.
Yeah.
Even companies like Twist Bioscience,
Oh, yeah.
who created synthetic versions of the virus to aid research,
Wow.
really showed that collaborative spirit.
And that's amazing.
And interestingly, public opinion of pharmaceutical companies
Right.
actually saw a noticeable improvement.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
during this time.
Wow, that's interesting.
So yeah.
And technologies like DNA sequencing
Yeah.
and CRISPR gene editing are really at the forefront
They are, yeah.
of this biotech revolution.
They are, yeah. So DNA sequencing provides the fundamental ability to read our genetic code. And CRISPR is this revolutionary tool
Yeah.
that allows scientists to make very precise edits
Yeah.
to that code.
Yeah.
We're already seeing clinical trials using CRISPR to treat genetic conditions like sickle cell disease.
Okay.
And they do this by by correcting the patient's own cells.
Wow.
Which potentially offers a much safer alternative
Right.
to things like bone marrow transplants.
Yeah.
So if these therapies prove successful,
Right.
it could open up a whole new era of treating genetic diseases.
That's amazing.
And it sounds like biotech is also increasingly working with other areas of science to create even more exciting possibilities.
So what are some of the other areas that it's
Well, biotech is increasingly merging with fields like materials, science, physics, chemistry, and engineering.
Wow.
And this cross-disciplinary approach is leading to the development of really innovative products.
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of products are we talking about? What areas?
Well, you see it in medicine.
Okay.
You see it in environmental protection, energy production, even food science, and defense applications.
Wow.
The potential really is enormous.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book then moves on to another really significant area of technological change, which it calls Phygital interfaces.
Phygital interfaces, yes.
Now, can you explain what that concept means? What is a Phygital interface?
Phygital essentially describes the growing overlap between the physical and digital world.
Okay.
And particularly in how we interact with technology in physical space.
Okay.
So instead of mainly using, screens and keyboards,
right,
we're increasingly using our bodies and our environment to communicate with machines.
Okay, so like touch screens are a perfect example of this Phygital trend.
Yeah.
That's already
our smartphones and tablets have really put vast amounts of digital power right at our fingertips.
Yeah, and it was arguably Apple's acquisition of Fingerworks.
Fingerworks back in 2005.
Yeah.
That really
they had this
saved the way.
This innovative iGesture pad technology.
Right.
And I think that really paved the way for widespread adoption of touch screens on phones and music players.
Yeah.
So that was a real turning point.
Yeah, and then